It's 1928, and this is an upload with regard to the field of psychiatry and the field of psychotherapy and psychoanalysis and the field of addiction studies and addiction recovery, and unfortunately the mental health illnesses associated with individuals with an abstinence and an ignorance that is deplorable in a modern day and age, especially when they're above the category of you know young adult. If like it's a mature adult, it's quite serious and very difficult for a professional to come to terms with a fellow professional that would think it's safe to offend people's intelligence. So I suppose it's all about mental health, that people have an abstinence or an ignorance of the mind that prevents them from progressing safely with safe decisions, and then they have the audacity to take exception or feel offended when it's put in front of them that their behaviour is unacceptable. So it's not in a condescending or patronising manner that I have to share about this, but it is hate crime, it is a wrongdoing against the Constitution, and it is an inhumanity. So these people that think that they're more precious than the sun, moon and stars are unfortunately a very serious disappointment to the evolution of Darwinism. So that they can't actually come to terms with their obligations, duties, functions, roles and responsibilities is, to say the least, another huge disappointment. And there are people that are quite impetuous with their impulsive decision making processes that aren't exactly in line with proper protocol. So I'm tolerating people that are insisting on causing problem and threatening the peace, and that are still not doing their sums properly. And unfortunately, as I've mentioned, there are a few state agency bodies that have been exploiting from my creative intellectual property theft. Now, as long as I'm experiencing ASBOs obstructing my wealth and my well-being, the people that are unfortunately living off wealth from me aren't exactly in a healthy situation. And I don't know if they understand what corruption is, what they have already been implicated in. But those people that have already been of corruption and that are continuing with corruption, unfortunately, it's a sad sign of the times. And it's very dangerous as well, considering the faith that they've offended as well, and that they would have the audacity to speak about other people's private lives, other people's circumstances, when they're already quite guilty of awful disgrace themselves in their actions, thoughts and words. So this is with huge concern for the Garda Síochána and their children again. The Garda Síochána have been supporting crimes against my name since 2006, and there were repercussions recently in County Kerry. As a consequence, the corruption was uncovered with the recovery advocacy and humanitarianism that I conducted, and yet again the authorities are still assisting crimes against me. So it's just a 20-year day back that this has been happening, and to be quite honest, it's unacceptable and it's unsafe and it's unwise. So when people start becoming intelligent, then there might be intelligent outcomes and intelligent possibilities. But as long as people are thinking that they're living off me and living off creative intellectual property and fooling themselves into thinking they're just going to change a name here and there, unfortunately no, that's not feasible, and it's not treason. As we've seen, there was an attempt at treason between 2017 and 2019, and that failed, and that is not permissible or possible for at least another lifetime. So those people that think that they're being treasonous with my royal titles, unfortunately you're giving yourself an invitation to the gauntlet through no fault of your own. So unfortunately these people aren't comprehending how protocol actually works. So I might remind the Garda Síochána what's happened to their reputations and their positions as a consequence of the crime that I've been experiencing since 2006, and I might remind debtors how dangerous it is to be spending money from royalty where they have no authority there either, you know. So there's a lot going on, there's a lot happening. I'm tolerating crime at an awful high rate, and still there are people sitting on their hands and burying their head in the sand and being silly. So the longer this continues, as long as I have to endure and tolerate these conditions, then I have to say that there isn't exactly a successful circumstance that's worth even rewarding, or even, you know, it's deplorable, it's disgusting, and it's not suitable democratic society at all. So those that are failing the state might be careful about the faith and the family issues and implicating yourselves in people's families where you're guilty already and where you aren't already after honouring your obligations. So be very careful about intruding upon my family, especially with all the damages that have been incurred unduly and unnecessarily and inexcusably to an innocent life that I gave birth to in 2015. Some people are getting a bit cheeky, and I just need to remind the Garda Síochána of what's happened to them already for the crimes that I've been tolerating. So this is for the interest really though of the European Court of Human Rights and Interpol and Frontex. So the sooner that the assistance I require is provided, the safer society. And as long as there's trespass and land grab, I doubt there'll be people's homes very safe or happy. It's a sad sign of the times.